evening, everyone, and welcome to this very first council meeting of 2025. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Council President Miller.
Present.
Deputy Majority Whip Anderbois.
Present.
Councilwoman Anthony is absent. Majority Leader Espinal. Senior Deputy Majority Leader Gonzalez.
Present.
Councilwoman Graves is absent. Deputy Majority Leader Harris.
Present.
Councilwoman Peterson.
Present.
Council President Pro Tempore Pichardo is absent. Councilor Royas.
Present.
Councilwoman Ryan.
Present.
Majority Whip Sanchez.
Present.
Councilman Taylor.
Present.
Councilwoman Ana Vargas. Councilman Oscar Vargas.
Present.
You have 12 present and 3 absent. You have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Will everyone please rise, including our guests, for tonight's invocation? At this first meeting of the new year, let's give thanks for all we hold dear: our health, our family, our friends, the city that we love. Let's use this year to release grudges, anger, complaints, and pain, because they are nothing but binding chains. Let's use this new year to renew our commitment to service, to one another, to our constituents, and to hold clear in our mind our commitment to anyone who's struggling in this great city of ours, whether that be because they do not have a house, whether they're cold tonight, people who have concerns about their future, and we know the long list of what those might be. Let's renew our commitment to everyone in our city, including anyone who's in struggle. And thank you all. Please stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilor Sue Anderbois.
To the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, item 3, please.
Madam President,
Majority Leader Espinal.
motion to waive the reading of item 3 and move approval.
Second, Madam President.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes. Please note that Councilwoman Graves has joined us.
So noted.
Item 4.
Madam President,
Majority Leader Espinal.
motion to waive the reading of item 4 and 5 and receive.
Second, Madam President.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes. Item 6.
Madam President,
Majority Leader.
motion to waive the reading of items 6 through 11.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on items 6 through 11? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes. Madam Clerk, please refer items 6 through 11 to the Committee on Finance. Item 12.
Madam President,
Majority Leader.
motion to waive the reading of item 12 through 14.
Second, Madam President.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Items 12 through 14. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes. Please refer item 12 to the Committee on Ordinances, 13 and 14 to the Committee on Finance.
So noted.
Item 15.
Madam President,
Majority Leader.
motion to waive the reading of items 15 through 17 and pass on a voice vote.
Second, Madam President.
We have a motion and a second on items 15 through 17. Any discussion?
Madam President.
Deputy Majority
May I
Leader
have
Harris.
item 15 read into the records, please?
Whereas Ruth Madsen, affectionately known as Diamond, was a devoted and passionate community advocate whose unwavering commitment to helping those in need left a lasting impact on all who knew her. And whereas Ruth devoted her life to serving those experiencing homelessness, ensuring their voices were heard and their needs addressed through her involvement with the Voices of Homelessness Group and the Constituent Advisory Committee. And whereas through her volunteer work at Mathewson Street Church, Ruth exemplified the true spirit of compassion and service, providing support and care for those in her community, even as she faced personal challenges. And whereas Ruth was known for her empathy, resilience, and determination, consistently advocating for those without a voice and standing as a beacon of hope for the most vulnerable. And whereas Ruth's contributions to the community went far beyond her advocacy, as she inspired others through her authenticity, grace, and relentless pursuit of justice for those in need. And whereas Ruth's passing on December 21st, 2024, leaves a profound void in our community, yet her legacy of compassion, courage, and service will continue to guide and inspire us. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Providence City Council extends its deepest condolences to all who were touched by Ruth Diamond Madson's light and honors her memory by carrying forward her passion for justice, her advocacy for the homeless, and her commitment to uplifting those in need. And be it further resolved that Ruth's legacy will forever remain a part of the fabric of our community, and her work will continue to inspire and guide future efforts toward compassion and justice for all. And be it further resolved that upon passage, a copy of this resolution be sent to the family of Ruth Madsen and to the Mathewson Street Church.
Madam President,
Councilwoman.
may I stand and have a few comments?
Please.
A few remarks. I'm going to try to get through this without a lot of emotions and without tears. I want to say that, as you all know, this week there was a action by the council made to make sure that we did not read in the paper of the deaths of people who were frozen to death in the cold. And so in honor of Miss Ruth Diamond Madsen, I want to say that that right there is something that she would have been here today cheering on our leaders. And I want to take a minute just to say, Councilman Miguel Sanchez, Councilman Justin Royce, I want to say how much impact you have made on the city of Providence by showing that we care about people, that we care about the most vulnerable. This woman was homeless herself at one time when I met her. And when I met her, she was also advocating for other people who had the same lived experience. So I want to just make a few points. I know I don't want to take a lot of times. In fact, I'm going to stick to my script so I won't be off track. First, I want to talk about why it's important that the people who worked on this resolution, I want to give credit to the clerks as well, the clerks and our policy people who definitely seen the need to put this resolution together. Ruth Diamond Madsen was a tireless advocate for people who did not know her, who dedicated her life to standing up for those without a voice. Her work with the voice of the homelessness and the constituents advocacy committee ensured that the struggles and the needs of these experiencing homelessness were not ignored. My tears are coming because I had a chance to stand here with my colleagues and see the work that they did on Tuesday to make sure that they honored Diamond in this way. Through volunteering out work at Madison Church Street, please excuse me. By volunteering at Madison Church, her advocacy, Diamond exemplified the spirit of compassion and selfishness. She gave her time, her energy, and her heart to support those in need, even while facing challenges herself. Diamond was a guiding light for justice. Diamond, empathy, resilience, and determination inspired everyone who had the privilege of knowing her. She stood as a beacon of hope for the most vulnerable and remindful us of all the power of community and justice. This week, when the City Council opened City Hall's door as a Women's Center on one of the coldest days of the year, we carried Diamond's legacy forward. Though she wasn't with us in person, her spirit and inspiration were there, reminding us of the importance taken action, direct action, to support those in need. Diamond would have been proud to see her fight for justice and compassion living on through us. Diamond passing leaves a void in our community, but her legacy will remind a guiding force. It's reminded us of a guiding force for all of us. By continuing her work and embracing her passion for justice and service, we honor her memory and ensure her light continuously shine. As John Lewis would say to you too, thank you for making good trouble. Thank you. In honor of Diamond.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Further discussion, items 15 through 17. Thank you. Further discussion, items 15 through 17. Okay. Further discussion, Councilman Royas.
To Councilor Harris, thank you for those powerful remarks. It's an honor to serve with you every day. Thank you. Madam President, I rise tonight not just in support of this resolution before us, but in outrage. Outrage at the staggering failure of leadership that has brought us to this moment. Let's be clear, this isn't just a housing crisis, it's a moral collapse. Over the past 4 years, homelessness in Rhode Island has surged, and while the numbers paint a grim picture, a 35% increase just 1 year, far outpacing the national average, what they don't show is the human suffering behind them. These aren't just statistics, Madam President. These are people, and this state has abandoned them. Rhode Island's response, or lack thereof, is an outright disgrace. We haven't just ignored this crisis, we've actively let it rot, treating it as if the suffering of the unhoused is someone else's problem. And now as freezing temperatures grip the state, what do we offer? Warming centers with nothing but chairs. That's it, chairs. While people sit upright all night, exhausted, aching, and stripped of their dignity. This isn't a solution, Madam President, it's a cruel mockery of one. People are freezing, suffering, and dying. And the best the state can muster is a seat in a room. It's beyond shameful, it's inhumane. Madam President, let's talk about Echo Village, a project in my ward, bordering Councilor Graves' ward, that could have been a lifeline. A temporary pallet shelter village proposed 4 years ago, stalled by bureaucratic inertia and a stunning lack of urgency. 4 years of delays while people slept in cars, under bridges, or on the frozen ground. This isn't just negligence, it's complicity. Every day this project remains incomplete, we are making a choice to let people suffer while we debate logistics. This state, the state has the tools to act. Under Rhode Island law, the governor has the authority to declare a public health emergency. And make no mistake, Madam President, homelessness is a public health emergency. Unhoused individuals face higher rates of disease, mental health crises, addiction, and death. Living on the streets isn't just difficult, it's deadly. And yet we treat this crisis as if it's acceptable, as if it's normal. It's not, and it never will be. Madam President, the governor claims that an emergency declaration, quote, does not solve this complex problem. But by that logic, should we abandon any tool or measure that isn't a silver bullet? Emergencies demand bold leadership, not excuses. They demand action, not the safe comfort of bureaucracy. Rhode Islanders without homes don't need platitudes, they need shelter. They need a system that prioritizes their survival, not one that debates semantics while they freeze. Madam President, the governor argues that such a declaration, quote, does not unlock any new funding. What it does unlock, however, is a framework to cut through red tape, prioritize and coordinate responses, leverage federal resources, and bring focused attention to an escalating crisis. Emergency declarations exist for precisely this reason, to and decisively when normal processes fail. By dismissing this step, you undermine its very purpose and send a message that homelessness is something we can continue to ignore. Madam President, the governor has said that an emergency declaration would only be, quote, solving one problem by creating another due to safety standards and shelters. I would ask our dear governor, does he truly prefer people who freeze to death on the streets rather than address capacity issues with creative, temporary solutions? How is neglecting lives a better alternative? Are sprinkler systems truly a higher moral priority than human survival? Let's not pretend that this is about safety when what's truly at risk is your willingness to take responsibility for the lives of our most vulnerable. This isn't just about policy, it's about people. People like Bill, an unhoused man I met Tuesday night when we opened these chambers to give folks a place to sleep with dignity. He approached me in the middle of these chambers, and he was stunned to hear he could lie down on a bench in the council chambers. He told me how he spent the night sitting upright in a warming center, his legs swollen and aching, desperate for even a moment of rest. Think about that. Lying down, something most of us take for granted, felt like a rare gift to him. That's not just wrong, it's a damning indictment of how far we've let human decency fall in this state. Madam President, this resolution Madam President, this resolution is a line in the sand. It's a refusal to accept the excuse that we're doing the best we can, when the best we can has been a chair in a cold room. Rhode Island can do better. Rhode Island must do better. If the governor won't act, then we will force his hand.
To our guests, I would just say I appreciate your enthusiasm and share it, but we got to continue on with our meeting. So thank you. Keep going, Councilor.
And if Governor McKee is unwilling or unable to declare a state of emergency in the face of this undeniable crisis, he has abdicated his responsibility to the people of this state. And if that is the case, I say this without hesitation, Madam President, Governor McKee should resign immediately. Rhode Island deserves a leader who will confront this crisis with the urgency and compassion it demands, not one who makes excuses while our most vulnerable citizens suffer and die. Madam President, this is a resolution that is in front of us. It is not a radical demand. It is a desperate plea for basic human decency. To declare homelessness a public health emergency is not an act of charity. It's an acknowledgement of the obvious. We have normalized suffering in this state, and tonight this council has the chance to say enough. I urge my colleagues to support this resolution, not just because it's the right thing to do, but because it's the only thing to do. As you cast your vote, let us invoke the memory of Ruth Diamond Masson, who would never tolerate the state's inaction in the face of suffering. The time for patience has passed, my friends. The time for action is now. Diamond always ended her calls with "love you, smooches." Tonight, let's honor her legacy by turning that love into decisive action, because it's what she would have demanded, and it's what Rhode Island desperately needs. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor. Before we continue, Madam Clerk, can you please note that President Pro Tem Pichardo is present?
So noted.
Thank you. Further discussion on items 15 through Any further discussion on items 15 through 17? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Madam President, I have to recuse on number 17.
Okay, thank you, Counselor. Any other abstentions? Yes.
Yes on 15, I abstain on 16 and 17.
Thank you. Any further abstentions or nay votes on any matters? All right, items passed. 15 passes with all 14 present. 16 with 1 abstention and 13 votes. 17 with 2 abstentions and math on the fly, 12 votes. Thank you.
I recused, I did not abstain.
Thank you for clarifying. Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Madam Clerk,
Madam
I
Clerk.
recused, I did
Yeah.
not abstain.
Thank you. I'm sharing that. Can you clarify that and that math? Thank you very much. Item 18,
Madam President, point of personal expression.
please, Counselor.
Thank you. First, I just want to thank all the members of the public for being here today. Obviously, a lot of attention is on Councilor Royas and myself tonight, but the actions that we took this week would not have been able to be accomplished without the help of dozens and dozens of members of our community here in Providence. I just want to take a quick moment to recognize everyone. If you have contributed in any way by spending time, donating, contributing food, please stand up because you guys are the ones that deserve the recognition for the courageous actions that were taken this week. So please stand up if you have somehow been involved, supported. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Counselor. Item 18, please.
Madam President,
Majority Leader.
motion to waive the reading of item 18.
Second, Madam President.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on item 18? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none. The motion passes. Please refer 18 to the Committee on Finance.
So noted.
Item 19.
Madam President,
Majority Leader.
motion to waive the reading of item 19 and pass on a voice vote.
Second, Madam President.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on item 19? Counselor Sanchez.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to quickly speak and congratulate and speak in support of item number 19. It's a resolution in support of the Atlantic Mills Commercial Tenants Union, the first commercial tenants union in the state. This is not the beginning because there's been a lot of work and organizing to get up to this point, but this is a community staple, one that we must fight to preserve as a city. This space has been home for many different groups, artists, creatives, churches, nonprofits. Big shout out to the Oneyville Neighborhood Association that has been housed there for many years. And I would please ask my colleagues to support this resolution.
Thank you. Any further discussion on item 19? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes. Item 20.
Madam President,
Majority Leader.
motion to waive the reading of item 20 and pass for the first time on a roll call vote.
Second, Madam President.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on item 20?
Madam President.
Counselor.
Thank you. In a nutshell, this ordinance updates sections 21 through 27 of the Providence Code of Ordinances. And what it does is it matches the small purchase thresholds which were recommended by the Charter Review Commission and approved by voters in 2022. Essentially, it's general purchases over $10,000 and construction contracts over $20,000 require formal bidding. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Peterson. Further discussion on item 20? All in favor? No, I'm sorry. We're calling the roll. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Council President Miller.
Aye.
Deputy Majority Whip Vanderbois.
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony is absent. Majority Leader Espinal.
Aye.
Senior Deputy Majority Leader Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilwoman Graves.
Aye.
Deputy Majority Leader Harris.
Aye.
Councilwoman Peterson.
Aye.
Council President Pro Tempore Pichardo.
Aye.
Councilor Royas is absent. Councilwoman Ryan.
Aye.
Majority Whip Sanchez.
Aye.
Councilman Taylor.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ana Vargas.
Aye.
Councilman Oscar Vargas.
Aye.
You have 13 ayes, 2 absent. The motion carries. The matter is passed for the first time on a roll call vote.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item 21, sorry.
Madam President,
Majority Leader.
motion to waive the reading of item 21 and 22, substitute both items and pass for the first time on a roll call vote as amended.
Second, Madam President.
We have a motion and a second on items 21 and 22. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Council President Miller.
Aye.
Deputy Majority Whip Anderbaugh.
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony is absent. Majority Leader Espinal.
Aye.
Senior Deputy Majority Leader Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilwoman Graves.
Aye.
Deputy Majority Leader Harris.
Aye.
Councilwoman Peterson.
Aye.
Council President Pro Tempore Pichardo.
Aye.
Councilor Royas is absent. Councilwoman Ryan.
Aye.
Majority Whip Sanchez.
Nay on 21, aye on 22.
Councilman Taylor. Councilwoman Ana Vargas. Councilman Oscar Vargas.
Aye.
So you have 12 ayes, 1 nay, 2 absent on item 21, 13 ayes, 2 absent on item, sorry, that was item, yes, 21, and 13 ayes and 2 absent on item 22. The motion carries. The matters are passed for the first time on a roll call vote as amended.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item 23,
Madam President,
Majority Leader.
motion to waive the reading of item 23 and pass for the first time on a roll call vote.
Second, Madam President.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on item 23? Counselor? No. I thought you were waving at me. Any discussion on item 23? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Council President Miller.
Aye.
Deputy Majority Whip Anderbaugh.
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony is absent. Majority Leader Espinal.
Aye.
Senior Deputy Majority Leader Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilwoman Graves.
Aye.
Deputy Majority Leader Harris.
Aye.
Councilwoman Peterson.
Aye.
Council President Pro Tempore Pichardo.
Aye.
Councilor Royas is absent. Councilwoman Ryan.
Aye.
Majority Whip Sanchez.
Was that nay?
Councilman Taylor.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ana Vargas.
Aye.
Councilman Oscar Vargas.
Aye.
You have 12 ayes, 1 nay, 2 absent. The motion carries. The matters passed for the first time on a roll call vote.
Thank you. Item 24,
I'll tell you.
Madam President,
Majority Leader.
motion to waive the reading of item 24 and pass on a roll call vote.
Second, Madam President.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on item 24?
Madam President,
Yes, please. Deputy Majority Leader Harris.
I'd like to rise and speak on these housing apartments because they are in my ward, Ward 11. First of all, before I speak, I would like to give credit because sometimes I forget. I want to give credit to the Finance Committee for the work that they did in thoroughly in making sure that the right questions was asked and all they did, all that was needed to know when you give this type of tax exempt. I want to thank them because they thoroughly did their job. This is not a type of tax that would set precedents for everyone else. I'd like to give you a little understanding for those who were not there, and I also would like to ask the council to please support this ordinance. I want to thank the Policy Committee for hearing this voice of what was needed there and doing the right job and putting this together. I know it wasn't easy for the work they had to do, but I appreciate what you guys have put into it, especially you, Aaron and Miguel. So thank you. Josie Capital Apartment was always intended to receive the 8% tax treatment, which supports the affordable housing in Providence. Due to construction delays, which we all know during the pandemic, the project was assessed to a much higher property tax bill. This resolution aligns the taxes with the original intent, ensuring fairness and consistency in our approach in supporting affordable housing. Our city is in the grip of a housing crisis and development. Like Joseph Capital Apartments are essential lifelines. This project brings 54 affordable units to our community, units that provide stability, dignity to families who might otherwise be left behind. And as many of you know, that housing unit had a stigma of being called Clown Town. That must know how the apartments were treated. Joseph Capital Apartment isn't just a building, it's a home for Providence residents with a low and moderate income, with units set aside for families earning as little as 30% of area and median income. This development ensures access to the housing for our most vulnerable neighbors. What makes this project even more meaningful, and I'm glad that the Finance Committee was able to hear and understand this, was the fact that it's being led by Omni Development Corporation, a majority women of color organization that is deeply committed to the community. These women are residents of Providence, are actually working to make our city a better place for everyone. Passing this resolution tonight sends a clear message. Providence stands for developers who invest in affordable housing. By granting this abatement, we show that we value and we support affordable housing. So I ask all of you to please support this ordinance tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any further discussion on item 24? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Council President Miller?
Aye.
Deputy Majority Whip Anderbaugh?
Yes, of course.
Councilwoman Anthony is absent. Majority Leader Espinal?
Aye.
Senior Deputy Majority Leader Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilwoman Graves?
Aye.
Deputy Majority Leader Harris?
Aye.
Councilwoman Peterson? Council President Pro Tempore Pichardo?
Aye.
Councilor Royas is absent. Councilwoman Ryan?
Aye.
Majority Whip Sanchez?
Aye.
Councilman Taylor?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ana Vargas?
Aye.
Councilman Oscar Vargas?
Aye.
You have 13 ayes, 2 absent. The motion carries. The matter is approved on a roll call vote.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item 25, please.
Madam President,
Majority Leader.
motion to waive the reading of item 25 through 47.
Second, Madam President.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on items 25 through 47? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, the motion passes. Madam Clerk, please refer item 25 to the Committee on Claims and Pending Suits. 26 through 47, note as received.
So noted.
Thank you. Item 48.
Madam President,
Majority Leader.
motion to waive the reading of item 48 and pass on a voice vote.
Second, Madam President.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes. Item 49.
Madam President,
Majority Leader.
motion to waive the reading of item 49 and pass on a unanimous rising vote.
Second, Madam President.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes.
Madam President,
Majority Leader.
tonight we motion to adjourn in the name of Ruth Diamonds Madison, as well as Nuris Martinez, who recently passed away. Being that there is no further business on the calendar, motion to adjourn.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Madam
Madam
President?
President,
Yes.
thank you. I think that I'd like to also adjourn in memory of our 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter. As we all know, the President of the United States basically declared a day of President Carter. He was buried this afternoon. He will be remembered more for what he accomplished after leaving the White House than while he occupied it. But nonetheless, he will be remembered for his honesty, his integrity, in humble character, all traits absent in the politics of today, and all exemplified in his 2002 Nobel Prize, Peace Prize. Godspeed, and may you rest in peace.
Thank you, Councilwoman. President Pro Tem.
That was the same request. Thank you, Madam
Councilman
President.
Anderbaugh.
I'd also like us to adjourn in memory of Court King, who worked here at City Hall for a period of time and who was just well known in the community, who passed suddenly this week as well.
Thank you.
Madam President, I'm sorry,
Councilor
point of
Peterson.
personal privilege.
I'm sorry, we're in the middle of a
Sorry.
vote. And
That's right, never mind.
all in favor? I'm sorry, did you have something to add, Councilwoman?
I just wanted to add two names from memory. Josephine Andrade and Stephen Andrade, who were siblings who died 48 hours to the time of each other on Christmas Eve and then the day after Christmas Eve. And they both were both civil-minded people, even though Stephen had moved away from here and moved to Florida. I think that they should both be remembered also.
Thank you, Councilwoman. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you.